Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Drama on this Sunday as we go back to another Sunday. For the first couple of shows at least, May 4th, 1958, 67 years ago, for an episode of Suspense, Jackie Kelk, yes, that Jackie Kelk, stars in a program called Sundown, an episode of Suspense, that is. Bob Bailey is yours truly, Johnny Dollar, also from that date, in the Carson Arson Matter. Then we'll move on, go back 80 years, May 4th, 1945, for an episode of This Is Your FBI and The Confidence Game, and an episode of the CBS Radio Workshop from 69 years ago, The Toledo War. We'll hear about the first Civil War between the states, yeah. And then we'll wrap it all up with an episode of Lum and Abner. That's all coming up on this Sunday. This is the 4th day of May, 124th day of the year, and this is Dave Brubeck Day. It is 5-4. Boom ba ba da boo da boo da ba da boo da loo doo 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 doo. It meant 5-4 time, you see. In the state, and there are 241 days remaining in 2025. Rhode Island became the first American colony to renounce allegiance to King George III in 1776. Abraham Lincoln buried on this date in 1865 in Springfield, Illinois, 3 weeks after his assassination. A bomb thrown at policemen trying to break up a labor rally in Chicago on this date in 1886. 8 people killed, 60 were wounded. The police fired into the crowd. Construction began on this date in 1904 on the Panama Canal. In 1932 in Atlanta, mobster Al Capone began serving an 11-year prison sentence for tax evasion. In San Francisco Bay on this date in 1946, U.S. Marines from the Treasure Island Marine Barracks stopped a 2-day riot at Alcatraz Federal Prison. 5 people killed in the riot. Norman Mailer's first novel, The Naked and the Dead, published on this date in 1948. Ernest Hemingway awarded the Pulitzer Prize for The Old Man and the Sea on this date in 1953. The long-running soap opera Another World debuted on NBC on this date in 1964. It would run 35 years until 1999. Kent State shootings on this date in 1970. Ohio National Guard sent to Kent State after the ROTC building was burned down, opened fire on students protesting at the U.S.'s invasion of Cambodia.
There was a rally. Everybody met on the commons. And everybody just gathered around, organized. We just stood there, and all the kids wanted to do was have a talk, tell them what was going on, why, the whole bit.
The troops were formed in a circle on the practice field next to Taylor. They were shooting tear gas.
And it was orderly. No kids were out of hand. They just wanted to talk. Troops started throwing tear gas, and the kids were picking up and throwing them back at the cops. And they chased the kids over the hill.
People started throwing rocks, and all of a sudden they started kneeling. We knew they were going to shoot, so we started running.
The cops were boxed in. There was kids all around them. All of a sudden, cops got trigger happy and shot kids.
And about 20 of them, the whole regiment kind of lowered their guns and opened fire, straight fire. Right, and they shot about 50 to 100 rounds, I'd say. It sounded like a machine gun going off.
The sounds of the Kent State riots on this date in 1974. Students killed, 9 wounded. In 1972, the Don't Make a Wave Committee, a fledgling environmental organization founded in Canada a year earlier, officially changed its name to the Greenpeace Foundation. 1979, on this date, Margaret Thatcher was sworn in as the first woman Prime Minister of the UK.
I know full well the responsibilities that await me as I enter the door of number 10, and I'll strive unceasingly to try to fulfill the trust and confidence that the British people have placed in me and the things in which I believe.
She won 3 successive general elections, served as British Prime Minister for more than 11 years, until 1990, a record unmatched in the 20th century. Thatcher passed away in 2013. In 1989, Colonel Oliver North convicted on charges related to the Iran-Contra affair.
Colonel North has been convicted of 3 very serious felony charges: obstruction of Congress, altering and destroying official documents, and accepting an illegal gratuity. The jury has spoken after a long and difficult trial, and the principle that no man is above the law has been vindicated.
Now, North, indicted on 16 counts, but having been found guilty on only 3, felt vindicated.
Today's verdict by the jury here in Washington is a partial vindication for what has been, for my family and me, a very long and difficult process.
And the conviction would later be overturned on grounds that immunized testimony had been used at his trial. On this date in 1989, NASA launched Magellan, a robotic space probe from the space shuttle Atlantis.
Both of the solid rocket motor burns have successfully taken place. Magellan is on the proper path toward Venus, falling toward the sun.
The probe was to map the surface of Venus. It would be 15 months before Magellan reached Venus. In 1994, Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, Palestine Liberation Organization leader Yasser Arafat signed a peace accord regarding Palestinian autonomy, granting self-rule in the Gaza Strip and Jericho. In 1998, a federal judge in Sacramento gave Unabomber Theodore Kaczynski 4 life sentences plus 30 years after Kaczynski accepted a plea deal sparing him from the death penalty. It was on this date in 2005, the Washington Post reported that Army investigators knew that former NFL player and Army Ranger Pat Tillman had been killed by friendly fire.
Pat was doing his job, and I don't even know what the Ranger motto is, but I'll bet you $1 he upheld it.
Tillman enlisted in the Army following the September 11 attacks in May of 2002. And it was on this date in 2007, the resilience of the farmer was proven after Greensboro, Kansas, destroyed on this date in 2007, destroyed by a 1.7-mile wide EF5 tornado.
How do you rebuild? All of Main Street's gone. Both of our schools are gone. So I guess that's what we're thinking. Where do we go from here?
The Greensburg tornado 18 years ago today, the first ever tornado to be rated that high with the new enhanced Fujita scale. And believe it or not, Greensburg fully rebuilt. The spirit of the American Midwest, the spirit of the farmer, picks back up and they rebuild. It is amazing. Among those passing away on this date in history, Don Shula.
I think what coaching is all about is taking players and analyzing their ability, put them in a position where they could excel within the framework of the team winning. And I hope that I've done that in my 33 years as a head coach.
Don Shula, passing away 5 years ago today. Also passing on this date, Mo Howard of the Three Stooges, a wonderful man who, very, very smart. And he knew that what they were doing was very, very risky. The Stooges didn't have stuntmen by and large. They did all their own stunts. It was dangerous, but Mo loved it. Mo Howard passing away on this date in 1975. Also, cartoonist Bob Clampett, blues harmonica player Paul Butterfield, also the wife of Robert Blake, Bonnie Lee Bakey, murdered on this date. Actor, director, producer Dom DeLuise, one of my delights of my morning ritual I wake up and turn on the Johnny Carson channel for 30 minutes just to wake up and get my humor spirit up. And when Dom DeLuise is on, it's wonderful. There is an episode out there where Dom DeLuise on The Tonight Show does a trick with eggs and sets these 5 eggs directly over these 5 glasses on a tray. And he knocks the tray out and the eggs drop in. And I don't know what it was, but he and Carson went nuts with the eggs. They did. And those eggs went everywhere. And I mean everywhere. And then Burt Reynolds comes out with a can of whipped cream. And you see those two things occasionally if you see the clips. What you don't see is who followed the two of them. And it was Art Carney. Art Carney comes out with a doctor's bag, looking a little askew as if he's had too much to drink, and no pants. He was the dirty doctor. Oh my gosh. Funny stuff. Dom DeLuise, a very funny man. He passed away on this date in 2009. And the man behind To Tell the Truth Password, The Price is Right, created by Bob Stewart. He founded Stewart Teleprizes, and he went on to create the $10,000 pyramid. Bob Stewart, passing away on this date in history. Birthdays include the Funk family patriarch, Dory Funk Sr., pro wrestler, promoter. He was a mean son of a gun in his day, and his kids were just as rough. We still have Dory Jr. with us, knock wood. Canadian musician Maynard Ferguson, a great trumpeter. Actress Audrey Hepburn. Soprano Roberta Peters. Soul singer Tyrone Davis. Mr. Fuji, who at the tail end of his life got out of wrestling. For many years he was a manager in the WWF, and he left wrestling. And he went back home because he wanted to see his kids for the tail end of his life. So, that's something else. The original king of surf guitar, Dick Dale, born on this date in history. And also born on this date, Nicholas Ashford of Ashford and Simpson. All those folks born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
The wonderful singer Oleta Adams, Get Here, a great song. Actress Pia Sedora, 71 years old today. Country's Brandy Travis is 66. From Arrested Development, Will Arnett is 55 today.
If this relationship is ever going to work between us, I need to feel free to party with a bunch of strangers whenever I feel like it.
That wasn't from Arrested Development. That was from the Lego Movie. Will Arnett, 55 today. Sportscaster Aaron Andrews, now with Fox, 47 years old. And NSYNC's Lance Bass is 46. Those some of the people celebrating the 4th day of May is their birthday. If this is your birthday.
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say happy birthday to you.
And we'll get this dramatic Sunday underway with an episode of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense, as we do 2 from May 4th, 1958, 67 years ago. And you hear a different side of Jackie Kelk.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Driving tonight? Then remember this. Most highway deaths are caused by 2 temptations: to cut out of line and to go too fast. Crossing the center line of the road is more dangerous than you realize. Statistics prove it. Excessive speed is just as dangerous as officials say. You can predict your own impulses, but you can never predict the other drivers when driving tonight. Drive cautiously, please.
All right, now we go back to Sunday, May 4th, 1958, radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Most of us know Jackie Kelk for the time he played Homer Brown on the Aldrich Family. Here you're going to hear a dramatic side of Jackie in an episode of the show called Sundown. And this is Jackie Kelk on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
For years and years and years, the Western story has been as stylized as a Punch and Judy show. There were the good guys and the bad guys, the blonde schoolmarm and the brunette dance hall girl. And there was old Texas Slim, who loved old paint more than he did either of these females. They were one-dimensional characters with no more depth than the page in which they were printed or the film in which they were photographed. Then something happened to the Western, something which had existed in the Old West all the time. People, real people, each with good in him and bad. People with human frailty and human strength. Around such a person is our Western story of suspense told. Listen then as Jackie Kelk stars in Sundown, which begins in exactly 1 minute.
Memo on medals. Information about our military awards and decorations. The awarding of American medals had its beginning during the Revolutionary War. Certain military and naval commanders were presented gold medals to commemorate their victories. The first medal in our nation's history was given to General George Washington after he had forced the British to evacuate Boston. That medal is now in the Boston Public Library, where it was placed on exhibit in 1876, 100 years after the historic event it commemorates. Technically, early medals were not decorations in the strictest sense. They honored both the victorious event and the officer in charge. Also, they were not designed to be worn, as later medals were. Therefore, they were presented in a suitable case for safekeeping. What we now know as the Purple Heart Medal was originally a badge of cloth material, specified in Washington's establishing order to be a figure of a heart in purple cloth or silk, edged with narrow lace or binding. Foreign decorations and medals are worn to the left of all American decorations. They are never worn alone, but must appear with at least one American medal. Few tributes are as meaningful and as cherished as the awards and decorations of our armed forces.
And now, Sundown, starring Jackie Kelk, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
It's sundown. That's why the town looks like a ghost town. There are folks around, all right, hiding behind door cracks and windows. Here's what they're hiding from. There's Kirby Hunsaker coming out of the saloon at one end of town, and there's Ben Ford coming from the livery stable at t'other. Walking toward each other, slow. Right hands hanging an inch from their gun holsters. In a minute, one of them will be dead. Kirby Hunsaker or Ben Ford. Little Ben. Nothing but a baby when I picked him up off the desert 14 years ago.
Hold up a minute, Sam. Hey, what is it? Over by that dried-out water hole. Yeah, looks like a man. Crikey, yep. It's a man right enough. Come a long way for water. You come to the wrong place. Give me a hand with it. Is he alive? Just about. Got it. My wife. My kid.
Yeah. Where are they?
There. Well, I can need water.
He's gone. Yeah. Well, we'd better find his wife and kid, if there's anything left to find. There was something left. A sun-baked wagon a dead woman, and a 5-year-old boy. His face was burned and his lips cracked with fever. He didn't cry. He didn't even whimper. And he didn't talk. We gave him water and he took it. Then he sat there, staring away into the desert as we buried his mother.
Yeah, what do we do about him?
We'll take him with us, I reckon.
Nobody but us on the ranch. Nobody to take care of him.
Ain't nobody here either. Well, we'll do what we can. He'll grow, or he'll die. He grew, a big, raw-boned kid. By the time he was 12, he could handle a man's work. And I had a feeling for him. A feeling like he was my own. He did some strange things that nobody else could understand. Like riding off in the desert and coming back with his face blazing and his lips split. He couldn't have said why, but he was fighting back at the desert because it had robbed him. It was like a cactus was growing in him. I couldn't get to the root to pull it out. Until one night at supper.
Dan?
Yeah, Ben?
Do I have any money?
Well, I reckon you do, boy. You work for your keep.
How much do I have, Dan?
Well, this is your home. Everything that's here is yours.
I want my own horse.
I see. Well, fair enough. Take your pick.
The black coat with the star in his face. I want him.
All right, boy. You've got yourself a horse. Yes, he'd got himself a horse. But it was more than that to him. It meant he had something that was his, come flood or thunder. Something in the world that belonged to him and nobody else. It gave him a reason for being alive. It pulled the roots out of that cactus inside of him. And he didn't ride out into the desert anymore. Bennett had the horse for almost a year when Kirby Hunsaker came. He rode in one afternoon while Ben was in town with a buckboard picking up supplies.
Oh!
Howdy.
Howdy.
Your horse looks like he could use a rest, stranger.
Needs shoeing and he'll be all right. I'll trade him and cash for a fresh horse.
Well, nobody's going to ride a horse of mine like that.
I said I'd trade him. That means I'm going to trade him. The name's Kirby Hunsaker.
Kirby Hunsaker. A name that was drifting all over the West with a trail of blood behind it. He had a face like a woman, and eyes like a steel trap. And there was no glove in his right hand. A gunfighter.
If you're thinking it over, you're wasting my time.
Better do it, Dan.
All right, Hunsaker.
I'll take the black with the star on his face. Put a rope on him.
Well, not that one. He ain't mine.
I ain't asking whose he is.
Well, any other horse. Any one you want. Even trade.
Get that black. And keep your hand away from that gun.
Dan, do what he says. You can give young Ben the Palomino.
Ben came back and I told him. He hadn't cried when I found him in the desert. And he didn't cry now. But there was something in his eyes. It was hate. Hate like a pure white flame.
I don't want the Palomino.
He's the best horse on the place.
Not to me. He isn't mine.
Why, you ornery...
Sam. I tried to save him for you, Ben.
I know.
You can have your pick of anything in the corral.
I don't ever want another horse.
Well, when you see something you do want, you just holler. It's yours. That's a promise.
Anything, Dan?
Anything.
All right, then. I'll take your gun.
My gun?
You promised, Dan.
I promised. Here. It's yours.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, Ben.
Why, in all my days, I never heard of such a lame-brained thing as giving a kid
He'd
like
have gotten one someplace sooner or later. And if I know 'em right, it'd best be sooner.
Hunsaker?
Yeah, Hunsaker.
It's a good thing he's only 13. When he's grown, we can hope for him to get better sense.
You're wasting your hope, Sam. I'm hoping that Kirby Hunsaker gets killed before Ben's growed.
In a moment, we continue with the second act of Suspense.
Another visit with Joe and Daphne Forsythe.
Okay, Daphne. The slides are all set. Turn off the lights.
There. Oh, Joe, isn't that pretty? Where was that?
That was Vale Pass on the Grand Divide. Remember how hard the wind blew?
I certainly do, and it was cold, too. Next time we go on a vacation, let's get an earlier start.
Well, we saved money by waiting till fall. Remember this one?
Oh, sure. That's Zion National Park. Oh, it was lovely.
We sure had a lot of fun on that trip. Was worth the money.
It was a good investment, all right. Almost as good as savings bonds.
There you go again.
Well, I just can't get over how good a bargain they are. We women like bargains, you know.
Oh, I know that. And $4 back for every 3 invested is a pretty good bargain.
Right. Oh, was that where I fed the bear?
Yeah, that's Yosemite. We were lucky the bears weren't already in hibernation.
How do they live when they hibernate?
On fat they store up during the warm months.
Just like savings bonds.
Huh?
Well, you buy a saving bond a month, right?
Yeah.
And it's a great way to save, the way those bonds rack up interest, right?
Right.
So we're just like the bears. We're storing up fat for our future use at interest rates that give us $4 at maturity for every 3 invested.
A very interesting idea.
You can learn a lot from nature.
Yeah, just imagine Smokey the Bear selling savings bonds.
Oh, Joe, show the slides.
And now, starring Jackie Kelk, Act 2 of Sundown.
A boy and a gun. They were together night and day. He slept with it next to his cheek, and you could see the red mark of the barrel on the side of his face when he'd get up in the morning. And when he wasn't working, we'd often come across him in Samaroya in the foothills.
Look, Sam, he's at it again. He ain't shooting at cans no more. What's that he's using for a target?
Yeah, it's a figure of a man marked off on the rock.
Looks like a piece of paper where the head ought to be.
Your eyes are going back, Sam. It's a picture. One of the Express Company reward posters for Kirby Hunsaker. It went on like that for 6 years, until the bullets were hitting close and fast. And then I'd catch him in the barn, practicing the draw. He'd start to wear his gun belt low on the hip, and his right hand hung by his side, sun-scarred, like a claw. And the rest of him had changed, too. He weren't a boy no more. He was a man. We heard more and more about Kirby Hunsaker. His name got to be one of the 3 mentioned most when the talk in the saloons turned to gunslingers. Jim Dunn, Boaz Watson, and Kirby Hunsaker. All bound to meet someday to find out who'd be a flick faster on the draw. Ben had to be there the night a stray cowpuncher stopped to rest his horse.
More coffee, stranger?
Thanks. I reckon I will.
Well, your horse sure needed water. You must have come a long way.
From Goldfield. Riding lucky, though. I come through Flagstaff just in time to see the fight.
What fight?
You mean you ain't heard? I must have been riding fast. Never seen a gunfight like it.
Who was in it?
Well, 2 of the best. Big Jim Dunn, Kirby Hunsaker.
Who won?
Well, Hunsaker. Dunn never cleared his holster.
Hunsaker beat Jim Dunn?
Yeah. I wish I could have stayed in Flagstaff. Boaz Watson someplace around, too. As soon as he gets wind of it, he'll be on Hunsaker's trail for a showdown.
If Dunn never cleared his holster, then the man ain't born that can outdraw Hunsaker.
Boaz Watson thinks he can. He's been itching for the chance.
It's a chance he ain't gonna get.
Ben, where are you going?
Where I gotta go, Dan.
Flagstaff?
You know it. And don't try to stop me.
Trying to stop him would have been like trying to stop an avalanche. But he couldn't stop me from following. I was an hour behind him when I reached Flagstaff on the third morning. Ben wasn't hard to find. He'd left a trail of questions behind him. I caught up with him in the last saloon on the street, still asking.
Well, bartender?
Reckon he comes in sometimes.
When?
Usually about an hour from now. Noon.
Good. I'll wait.
You going to buy me a drink, Ben?
Oh. If that's what you came for, Dan.
It's been rough trailing you, boy. Men and horses ain't meant to be pushed that hard.
I was in a hurry.
Well, maybe we can take it easier going back. Maybe if we left right now, we could camp out someplace tonight, like we used to.
Ask me later, Dan. This is something I gotta do first.
Sam and I saw Big Jim Dunn in a gunfight once. He was like lightning, Ben. But Hunziker killed him.
Don't worry, Dan. I'm good with this gun.
I hope you're good enough.
That's something we'll know soon. At least I got here before Boaz Watson.
In a moment, we continue with the third act of Suspense.
What do you know about the Navy's Specially Meritorious Medal? Have you seen many of them lately? Probably not, as the medal is no longer issued. Congress authorized this medal early in 1901 for officers and men of the Navy and Marine Corps who rendered specially meritorious service other than in battle during the Spanish-American War of 1898. Among the 93 recipients of the medal were the crew of the collier Merrimac for its efforts to bottle up the Spanish fleet in Santiago Harbor, and men of the American flatboat crews who saved the lives of many Spanish sailors who had jumped from burning ships. Recognition of gallantry in action by a grateful nation inspires new generations of Americans to hold fast to those principles which have made our country great. For it is the extra effort and heroism which a free nation's citizens exhibit that reveals their pride in our heritage and their unflinching determination to maintain our cherished way of life.
And now, starring Jackie Kelk, Act 3 of Sundown.
Ben wouldn't drink, and he wouldn't leave. So we waited. Then I heard the door swing. We'd had a couple of times, only this time it was different. Talk around the tables cut out. The bartender's hands tightened around the glass he'd been wiping. Every head in the place turned toward the door. It was Kirby Hunziker. He and Ben had never seen each other before, but somehow they knew each other. Their eyes caught and held. The two longhorns locked together.
I hear somebody's looking for me. In case anybody don't know me. The name's Kirby Hunziker.
I'm looking for you.
Speak your piece.
A long time ago, when I couldn't do anything about it, you stole a horse from me.
You calling me a horse thief?
That's what I'm calling you.
Well, you got nerve, kid. Name your price, I might pay it.
Well, you'll pay it. I set the price a long time ago. Your life.
You got a gun? Dig for it.
You move first, Hunziker.
I'm giving you an edge. Better take it, kid.
No. No, I want to give you a little time, Hunziker. If I draw first, then you gotta move without thinking. But I want you to think. I want you to think and worry and decide.
While you're talking, I might get tired of waiting.
You won't draw fast enough, Hunziker. So I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going down to the livery stable to take a nap. At sundown, I'm coming back up the street. And I don't want anybody on it. You better run, Hunziker. Or shoot me in the back while I'm going out that door. Because if you don't, I'm gonna kill you.
It's sundown now, and here I am in the window of the hotel. And there he is in the street, him and Kirby Hunsaker walking toward each other. And the town is so quiet you can hear their steps in the dirt. 100 yards, 75, 50. The fingers of their right hands clawed like hooks, almost touching their gun butts. Doesn't even seem like the sun is moving anymore, like even the shadows are glued there to the ground, waiting for one of those hands to move. 'Cause when it comes, it'll come fast.
Better dig, Hunsaker.
Punk!
I'm gonna collect for that horse.
You'll collect. Kid! Ah! Get out! He did it!
Ben, you all right, boy?
I'm all right. Let's walk.
Well, it's all over now, boy. We'll saddle up and go home.
Hey! Hey, wait!
Oh, it's the blacksmith. Guess our horses are ready.
Express rider came in just after you left the stable. He said Boaz Watson is riding in. He ran into him on the trail. You going to stay and meet him?
Me? Well, I got no quarrel with Boaz Watson.
Looks like you will have. He was mighty keen on meeting up with Hunsaker. Looks like you've taken over Kirby's place.
Dan, what'll I...
That's what I was afraid of, Ben. You killed Hunsaker. Now every fool, every drunk, every gunslinger looking for a reputation will try to get it by trying to kill you.
I can't go back with you now, can I? I can't ever go back. From now on, I've got to fight or run.
What are you going to do, Ben?
Head for the border, I guess. Go as far as I can, till I can't go any further.
I'll come with you. I've been holed up in one place too long anyhow. Now,
No, Dan. I gotta go alone. This is where we split. Right now. Thanks for everything. I'll never forget you. Goodbye, Dan.
Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye, boy. Goodbye, son.
Suspense, in which Mr. Jackie Kelk starred in William N. Robeson's production of Sundown by Joel Murcott. Supporting Mr. Kelk in Sundown were Louis Van Ruten, Charles Seal, Vic Perrin, William Quinn, and Jack Crucian. Listen. Listen again next week when we return with another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
An Armed Forces recording of Suspense, as it was originally broadcast 67 years ago, May 4th, 1958. As we mentioned earlier, Jackie Kelk was the original Homer Brown on The Aldrich Family. He was also the original voice of Jimmy Olsen on The Adventures of Superman. He did a number of movies. He was in shorts similar to the Our Gang shorts of the time, playing Georgie Bassett. He was in the 1934 drama Born to be Bad. He did lots of drama, apart from just this story, so he had done it. He was the title role in the NBC Live sitcom in 1951, Young Mr. Bobbin. And then he had roles in shows like The Lineup, Date with the Angels, Leave It to Beaver, and lots of bit parts. His final role was obstetrician Dr. Bo Boland during the first season of the ABC sitcom The Donna Reed Show. It was his final acting role. He would pass away in 2002 of a lung infection at Eisenhower Medical Center at the age of 79. Interesting that from 1959 until 2002, he didn't have any drama work. That's really sad. All right, Suspense, 67 years ago, Sunday, May 4th, 1958, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We're going to move on to Bob Bailey. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, from that same date, in a moment.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Debbie Reynolds. If you've been wondering what you can do to fight communism personally from your own home, there is something you can do. Support Radio Free Europe, the station built and financed by the contributions of the American public to the crusade for freedom. Radio Free Europe is one Cold War operation the communists fear and attack constantly. Support Radio Free Europe. Send your truth dollars to Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster.
We continue now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with an episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, an Armed Forces recording of the program, starring Bob Bailey, from 67 years ago, May 4th, 1958.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
This is Jim Paris at Worldwide Mutual.
Don't tell me, Jim. Let me guess.
Hmm? What are you talking about?
The reason you call me, I can smell the smoke all the way over here at my apartment.
Oh, well...
Also, I heard something about the fire on a news broadcast a few minutes ago.
Yes.
Somewhere out on Albany Avenue, he said.
Yes, it's the cash and save market over the other side of town.
And since your company insured it, you want me to go over and take a look?
A good look, Johnny.
You thinking of possible arson?
I am.
Okay, why?
That store is just one of a chain. Hartford, Boston, Providence, Springfield, Lowell.
Yeah, I see. But how does that make it arson?
This is the fourth one to go up in as many weeks.
Oh. The outfit that owns them having financial troubles?
The outfit that owns them is one man.
Oh.
John Wakefield Carson.
Then I repeat my question.
Johnny, if he is burning up his own markets, if you can prove it, you can save our company a lot of money.
That might cost you a lot of money, Jim.
What do you mean?
Wait till you see my expense account.
Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Worldwide Mutual Insurance Company, Home Office, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Carson Arson Matter. Expense account item 1, $1.25 for a taxi from my apartment to the offices of Worldwide, where I hoped Jim Paris could give me a little more to go on. He did. Very little.
First loss 4.5 weeks ago was the market up in Thompsonville.
How much?
Loss in Thompsonville, $41,204. That was the smallest one in the chain.
Uh-huh.
The following week, the one over in Fall River burned to the ground.
And the claim on that?
Some $58,000 odd.
Nothing odd about that much dough.
And the loss in Lowell was a bit over $64,000. How much the claim will be on this one here in Hartford remains to be seen.
How much coverage does he have on it?
Around $100,000, I believe. Yes, $106,000.
Well, then that's probably what he's going to claim. Look, you can still see the smoke out there.
Yes, and the telephone report I just got says it looks like a total loss. Will you go over and take a look at it?
John Wakefield Carson.
That's right. His office is up in Boston. That's where his newest, biggest market is.
Oh, how much insurance on that one?
Nearly $500,000. It's one of the largest, most modern supermarkets.
And I'd better get over and see him in a hurry. You want me to get there before that one goes up, don't you? Expense account item 2, $450 for a cab to the scene of the fire way out on Albany Road. 3 or 4 fire companies were hard at it. But it was easy to see there wasn't a chance of saving much. It struck me that this location, part of a brand new residential area, was about as far from an established fire company as it could be. I wondered for a moment if this was deliberate. I finally ran down Hal Gibbons, an old pal, and one of the best men an arson squad ever had.
Stick your nose up in the air and take a deep one, Johnny. You smell it?
Well, it's not kerosene, Hal. I don't think it's gasoline either.
No, but it's something highly inflammable. The boys of that chemical truck could get it out. Might learn something.
First, these stores always stock a lot of cleaning fluids, stuff like that.
Most of them are not inflammable.
Well, how about...
Johnny, look out!
Golly. Hey, maybe we better move back a ways.
Yeah.
Must have got a pretty big start on the fireman, Hal.
Sure, because it's so far out. It's like the markets in Thompsonville and Fall River. And Lowell, too.
Oh? Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
At this point, I'm more than just wondering, Johnny.
Have you come up with anything?
Those other towns are out of my bailiwick, but I know all the boys in the departments.
Have they come up with anything?
No, and that's why I feel I've got to get the first lead, if there is one, right here.
Has old man Carson showed up?
No, not during any of the fires. He just sits calmly in his office in Boston, mutters something philosophical about the vagaries of fortune, and lets you go at that.
And files a big fat insurance claim. I think I want to see that guy, Carson.
I don't think it'll do you any good, but go to it.
Know anything about his financial situation?
He's loaded. Multimillionaire. And boy, what a queer one.
What's that mean?
A regular nut. Always quoting Shakespeare, the Bible, poetry, but a good businessman.
You sure he hasn't got some big investments, something like that went bad on him recently?
I'm sure.
There has to be some reason.
No, get back, I tell you. You gotta stay back of the line.
You want to keep your job? You tell your chief I'm here, and I want to know why this fire got out of hand.
Well, who's that?
Now, look, miss, I got orders.
Don't choke on them.
It's all right, Jerry. I'll take care of her.
Whatever you say, Mr. Gibbons, but I got orders.
It's okay. Well, Miss Carson, it looks like you're losing another market.
It's the fourth one. The fourth one and a little over a... Say, don't I know you?
I'm afraid I haven't had the pleasure.
Miss Margaret Carson, this is Johnny Dollar.
The insurance investigator. Good. Now, maybe we'll get somewhere. Oh, this is... Walter. Walter!
Yes, Margaret?
My fiancé, Mr. Dollar. Walter Smitten.
Smitten?
Hello, Walter.
Mr. Gibbons?
Walter handles the legal end of things for Dad.
Oh, I see. Next president of the company, Walter?
I? In the grocery business? Oh, no, sir, thank you. The legal end is enough for me.
Well, what do you think about these fires? 4 in a row.
Well, if I were you, Mr. Dollar, I'd suspect arson.
Oh, Walter, for heaven's sake.
Why, Walter?
Someone trying to put Mr. Carson out of business, something like that.
Put Father out of business with a couple of fires? Oh.
Miss Carson...
Come on, Walter, we've seen all we need to make the final report to Dad. Goodbye, Mr. Dollar. Harold.
Yeah.
See ya.
Like a motive, Johnny?
That Walter character?
If he marries Margaret Carson, then he doesn't seem to like the grocery business.
Yeah, but if he could get the money from it. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment. Our flag now numbers 50 stars, and behind each star there stands yet another flag representing one of the 50 states. South Dakota's state flag was inspired by a song. South Dakota is the Sunshine State. A stenographer named Ida Anding designed the flag with a sky blue background and a blazing sun in the center, and the words, South Dakota, the Sunshine State, in gold around the sun. Later, the state seal was inserted over the sun, a seal representing mining and agriculture, the prime pursuits of the state. The state's banner also carries the motto, Under God, the People Rule. South Dakota's state flag The flag of the 40th state to enter the Union was adopted on March 8th, 1909.
And now, Act Two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar and the Carson Arson Matter.
Expense account item 320 cents phone call from a booth near the scene of the fire. I wanted more information from Jim Paris at Worldwide Mutual. Information about the policies covering the 13 cash and save markets, 4 of which had recently gone up in flames. I waited in the phone booth until Jim called me back. Johnny Dollar.
Jim here.
Oh, good.
All right, here's the list of markets, Johnny, in the order of insurance coverage, starting with the smallest amount.
Go ahead.
Thompsonville, Fall River, Lowell, Hartford.
That's the same order in which they burned.
Exactly.
Okay. Which remaining store has the next biggest coverage?
Salem.
Okay, I'll start with Salem.
What are you thinking of, Johnny?
It's just a hunch, Jim, but... Well, I'll call you later. Item 4, $5.25 for a cab back to my apartment. Item 5, $21 even, mileage in my own car, Hartford to Salem, Mass. Despite burning up the highway, it was almost dark when I pulled into Salem. It was well after dark when I finally located the cash and save market. Again, the store was far outside of town, and it was a long way from the nearest firehouse. I don't know exactly why I went there instead of the main office in Boston. After all, it was the same day as the Hartford fire, and the others had all been about a week apart. As I said before, call it a hunch. But as I pulled up in front of the place, I saw the shadow of a man dart furtively around the back of the building. As I reached the far corner of the building, I stopped. But with only the sliver of a crescent moon, I could see no one. Somewhere ahead of me, I heard a door open. Then silence again. But somebody had entered that building. Slowly, cautiously, I felt my way along the wall. And then I came to it. An open door. Storeroom. But inside it was pitch black. I drew my gun and carefully, quietly felt around for a light switch. After stumbling gently against a big packing case, I found it. I hunched down behind the case and flicked it on. All right, where are you? I heard you. I saw you come in here. Now, look, I got a gun, so don't try anything funny. You hear me? Where are you?
Right over your head!
Oh! I must have been out a long time. I came to lying in a cot in the back room of Salem Police Headquarters.
A couple of gallon jars. And you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Well, it was a couple of big gallon jars of kosher pickles that he dropped on top of your head.
He, officer?
Well, I'd like to split your head open. So he brought you in here to headquarters and had the doc look you over. Up. Easy now.
Oh, yes.
Doc says no permanent harm done. He gave you a shot to make you sleep and rest. Now, how about this cup of hot coffee?
Yeah, sure. And about a dozen aspirins. My head feels like...
There you are.
Thanks. But you said he.
Well, according to him, you left yourself wide open when you sneaked in there after him. And then to turn on the lights. Son, you've got a lot to learn.
Okay, so I pulled a boo-boo. But do you know who it was that slugged me?
Of course, son. He brought you here.
Who?
Owner of the market.
What?
Mr. John Wakefield Carson.
Item 6, $2 more mileage on my car. This time down to Boston and the main office of Cash and Save Markets. To the private office of John Wakefield Carson.
Please be calm of mind. All passion spent, Mr. Dollar.
What?
That's from Milton. Please sit down.
Now look, Mr. Carson, about last night.
Baydock plays tricks upon us all. It did so in bringing us together last night.
How did you know I was going to investigate that market of yours up in Salem?
Well, I didn't know. But look, you young man.
Yeah?
The fires which destroyed those 4 markets did so in order of their value to me.
So I found out.
And possibly then the next to go would be the store in Salem. For that indeed is next in order of value.
It figures.
Or perhaps 'twas mere coincidence those accidents occurred in that order.
Accidents?
Remember, coincidence breeds further coincidence. That's a quotation from Roscoe.
Now listen to me, Mr. Carson.
For that reason, I decided to inspect the Salem store myself.
Inspect it, huh?
To make sure there'd be no possibility of spontaneous combustion there.
Let's get one thing straight right now, Mr. Carson.
Yes?
I think those fires were set. And if you'll come down to earth...
Possible, I suppose. It was Shakespeare who said, fire answers fire. Through their paly flames, each sees the other's umbered face.
Listen to me, will you?
Of course.
I think you set those fires, or had them set.
By Mr.
I think you were going to burn down the store in Salem until I came along.
Well, when I saw you there, I thought that was your intent.
Oh, sure. All right, tell me this. What do you plan to do with the insurance money, if you get it? Rebuild? Bigger and better stores where the old ones stood?
Oh, no.
Or did you find out you hadn't made them big and modern enough for those real estate developments where they were located and decided the cheapest way for you to do...
No. To build again where tragic dealt the fate.
Forget the fancy quotes and answer my question.
Shakespeare said, you tread upon my patience, sir.
Look.
It's most enough to make a deacon swear. Answered by James Russell.
Mr. Carson.
What disposition of the funds I choose to make is mine alone to settle. And from my heart.
Carson.
Enough. I've had enough of this. Now be on your way.
No, wait a minute.
Be gone, Dollar. And irk me now no more.
No, you wait. From your heart, you said.
And now I have said enough. Henceforth, my lips are sealed.
Okay. But you know something? I think you've told me who might have set those fires. And if you'll answer me just one more question. No? Okay, we'll see.
Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
Sometimes we may wonder why a football team doesn't quit playing and walk off the field when it finds itself 50 points behind with only a few minutes of play to go. What is that indomitable spirit that fills men with hope and keeps them going in spite of terrific odds? Keeps them going just to play the game according to the rules, just to get the job done as well as they know how. This kind of spirit pervaded the feelings of heavy bomber crews of the 9th Air Force on that day of glory, August 1st, 1943, the day of one of the most secretly planned surprise bombing missions of World War II, the day of the low-level attack on the Romanian oil refineries at Ploiești. More than 170 B-24 heavily loaded bombers took off in a swirl of red dust from Benghazi, Libya, to bomb a highly defended priority target. The element of surprise in the low-level attack was to be one of their greatest weapons. But things went wrong from the start. 3 planes exploded during takeoff operations. 11 more aborted due to engine trouble. Of those that reached the target area, less than 1/3 returned to home base. The leaders of the mission encountered navigation difficulties and difficulty in identifying the specific targets. And due to the loss of that elemental hope, surprise, they also encountered devastating enemy firepower from flak and fighters. The mission was partially successful, but a horrifying experience. 5 medals of honor were awarded to the heroes of the Ploiești raid for valorous action above and beyond the call of duty. At any time, the men would have been justified in turning back. But they had a code of conduct that made them want to see the unequal game through to the end. It was a job that had to be done. A charge of the Light Brigade in the air as they flew down the Valley of Death to glory.
And now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar and the Carson Arson Matter.
Expense account item 780 cents, phone call to Hal Gibbons and the arson squad back in Hartford.
Yeah, Johnny, I finally found plenty in the remains of that fire.
Then it was arson.
By some rank amateur. That's why it was hard to spot.
What do you mean?
When a pro sets ablaze, we know what to look for.
I see. And what about the other 3 fires?
I called the boys in those cities immediately. Heard back from them this morning. Same story.
All right. Have you checked on Walter, what's his name, the fiancé of Carson's daughter?
You mean stepdaughter?
Stepdaughter?
I have, and that's what stops me.
Alibis, huh?
Perfect. Walter Smitten couldn't possibly have started those fires.
I didn't think so.
Huh?
Now, that boy may call himself a lawyer, Hal, but he just hasn't the nerve, the gumption.
But who else? He stands to benefit if he marries Margaret Carson. And surely you don't think Carson himself... Johnny?
Call the Boston police, will you? Have them meet me at Carson's office.
What for?
Maybe to make an arrest. Do that for me, will you? Hunch? Maybe it was more than a hunch now. Sure, I know there was no real clues in the case, but maybe for once I could get along without them. I went back to Carson's office and I must confess, tried a little bluff.
Court? You'd hail me into court?
That's right. Unless you open up and tell me what I want to know.
Very well. Speak to me as to thy thinkings, as thou dost.
And you can forget the quotations. Walter Smitten is your lawyer, isn't he?
A timid but an eager lad who saved me many a fall.
You like him?
Like a son. I would he were my son. Or as the Bible says, a wise son maketh a happy...
All right.
Oh, yes.
You have a stepdaughter, Margaret.
Alas, I have.
Okay. Now, who is to get the insurance money you may collect?
Well, that, sir, is none of your concern.
You going to talk now, Mr. Carson,
but
or
it's
in court?
A family matter.
Who gets it?
I pledged to my wife before she died that Margaret would have all monies from any profit, any monetary gain of any kind, of any of my ventures. That would include the insurance money.
I see.
That, Mr. Dollar, was my pledge, and oh, how I have rued it.
Why do you say that?
She's not of my blood, Mr. Dollar. She has no soul for art or poetry. And since she's come of age, she's made so many demands upon me. Money. That's all she thinks of. And like Walter, she's so bold, aggressive, headstrong. Were it not for Walter, I'd mistrust her every move.
But if he's in love with her?
Because she demands he be. And why? So she can use his legal guidance in her fight to take this business away from me.
All right, Mr. Carson. I haven't notified the authorities yet, but I've found proof that Margaret is the one who started those fires.
You what?
And you just told me why. Because the money would go to her.
Oh, Mr. Dollar, I'm glad. I've suspected, yes. But because of family honor. No, I'm glad you have proof. At long last, it will take this millstone from about my neck.
Proof, Pop.
Margaret.
Well, Dollar, you'll never live to tell the authorities.
Margaret, that gun.
Unless you'd like to make a deal, Johnny. Could be worth a lot of money to you. I'd even promise not to set any more fires.
Oh, you were right, Mr. Dollar.
Unless I'm mistaken, Margaret, the man who just came in...
What man?
Who heard your little confession is from the police department.
You trying to make me look around so you can grab for this gun? Oh, no.
Fact remains, he's standing right in back of you.
That's right, Margaret.
What? No. Oh, my hand! My hand! Oh, my hand!
How sharper than a serpent's tooth is an ungrateful child.
Yeah, the company will have to pay on those 4 markets. And the courts will have to take care of Margaret. I'm sure they will. And next time, well, give me something clean to work on, will you? I hate this kind of stuff. Expense account total, including the trip home, $56.90. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Our star will return in just a moment. Our flag now numbers 50 stars, and behind each star there stands yet another flag representing one of the 50 states. Oklahoma's state flag depicts an Osage warrior's circular buckskin shield from which hang 7 eagle feathers. Across the shield is the Indian's calumet, or pipe of peace, crossed with the white man's peace symbol, the olive branch. On the shield are small crosses, the Indian's graphic sign for stars, indicating lofty ideals or a purpose for high endeavor. The background of the flag is a field of blue, the blue of the Oklahoma sky, signifying loyalty and devotion. The important symbols, however, are the calumet and the olive branch. These override the shield, the symbol of war, and bespeak a predominant love of peace by a united people. Oklahoma's state flag, the flag of the 46th state to enter the Union, was adopted on April 2nd, 1925.
Now, here's our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, the Rolling Stone matter. Remember that old saying about a rolling stone? Well, it applies here, with a vengeance. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone, who also wrote today's story. Heard in our cast were Virginia Gregg, Byron Kane, Harry Bartell, Jack Edwards, Joe Kearns, and Forrest Lewis. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
An Armed Forces Radio Network recording of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, 67 years ago, May 4th, 1958, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up on Monday's show, we'll have Mr. and Mrs. Blandings, starring Cary Grant and Betsy Drake from 1951, based on Mr. and Mrs. Blandings Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House. 1953 episode of My Friend Irma, where Irma wants an older man. And the Royal Gelatin Hour from 1938, starring Rudy Valley and Boris Karloff. Tuesday's episode, we'll have two more episodes of yours truly, Johnny Dollar in Suspense. These from the last season, 1962. Mandel Kramer stars as Dollar. And the Suspense episode stars the man who was Johnny Dollar immediately before Mandel Kramer, Bob Reddick, in an episode from 1962, which Reddick himself wrote, called The Second Door. We'll also have a 1945 episode of the sealed book, The Stranger in the House, and a Dimension X program from 1950 called Knock. What if you were the last man on Earth, and all at once there was a knock at the door? Wednesday, we'll get back to comedy with episodes of the Texaco Star Theater, an hour-long presentation from 1941. Fred Allen was the host of the show at the time, and you'll also hear from Amos and Andy and Jack Benny. An episode of Father Knows Best from 1951, and the Henry Morgan Show. And on Thursday, we will remember the tail end of World War II with an episode of On a Note of Triumph from 1945. The NBC University Theater production of Red Badge of Courage, and a 1945 production, House of Mystery and the Monster in the Lake. And we'll wrap up the week with Broadway Is My Beat, starring Larry Thor from 1953, an episode of Escape, The Time Machine, the H.G. Wells program from 1948, the H.G. Wells story, and then another Wells, Orson Welles, in The Lives of Harry Lime from 1952, Viva la Chance, and The Illustrated Client, an episode of Sherlock Holmes from 1948, starring John Stanley and Alfred Shirley. That's coming up here in the next few days on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up immediately, though, this is your FBI.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chief hope of our enemies is to divide the United States along racial and religious lines and thereby conquer us. Let's not spread prejudice. A divided America is a weak America. Through our behavior, we encourage the respect of our children and make them better neighbors to all races and religions. Remind them that being good neighbors has helped make our country great and kept her free. Thank you.
Jackson sure had it right. We go back 80 years now, May 4th, 1945, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. An episode of This Is Your FBI, J. Edgar Hoover's favorite program. And this episode is entitled The Confidence Game.
At this time, there are no major developments in the war news to report. Any new developments will be brought to you immediately. Keep tuned to your Blue Network station. This is your FBI. This is your FBI, an official broadcast from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, presented as a public service by the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States. To your FBI, you look for national security, and to the Equitable Society for financial security. These two great institutions are dedicated to the protection of you, your home, and your country. Tonight, the story of a crime against society, the confidence game.
There are some people who seem to wait for laws to be made so that they can break them. Break them and make money doing so. To those people, a curfew means a speakeasy. A price ceiling means a black market. A war means a high-pitched, gullible nation. They like war, those people, because they can make money out of it in 100 different ways. Sooner or later, they all get caught, but they try. They try every angle that a nation at war provides, and they try it in the most innocent places. Places like... well, take the sunny boardwalk overlooking the ocean at a resort near New York.
Tilt your face up, Abby. Let the sun get at it.
It only brings out my freckles, Lily, or else I start peeling.
Oh, it's good for the bones.
Oh, I wish we were really on vacation from school. But I can't help feeling a little guilty about spending money in wartime. I think of poor Mrs. Greenway and...
She hasn't heard from her son yet?
No. She's hoping he's a prisoner of war in Germany, but...
Beg your pardon, ladies. I couldn't help overhearing you mention the name Greenway. Do you by any chance know the lad's first name?
Well,
Forgive my rudeness, but I've just come back from overseas myself, and I thought perhaps...
Oh, his name is Herbert. Isn't that it, Abby?
Yes.
Herbert Greenway?
Do you know him?
Yes, quite well.
Oh, Abby, is he all right, do you know?
Madam, you can tell the lad's mother to rest easy. Exactly 8 days ago, the Russians freed him from a German prison camp.
Oh, then he was a prisoner.
Oh, that's so
Lily.
nice of you to tell us. Major?
Major. Major William Evans Roscoe, at your service, miss. That is, I hope it's miss.
Yes. I'm Miss Tompkins, and this is Miss Bergen.
How do you do?
Most charming pleasure. You see, I happen to know about the Greenway boy because... May I sit down?
Oh, please do.
Of course, move over, Lily.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, as I said, I've only just returned from some very secret work overseas in connection with prisoners. I leave for Washington shortly to make my report.
When?
Oh, not for a day or so. I've been granted a short leave, but well, frankly, I don't know anyone in the city, and would you ladies think it very presumptuous if I asked you to join me for dinner tonight?
Oh, it would be a pleasure, Major.
Miss Bergen?
Well, Lily, you know I promised the Perkins.
Oh, yes.
I'm very sorry. Some other time, perhaps?
I'd like to.
But I will have the pleasure of your company, Miss Tompkins.
Well...
Please, take pity on a lonely serviceman. You know, I haven't had a real meal or charming company for... well, let's not say how long.
Oh. Major.
Yes?
Wouldn't you prefer a good home-cooked meal?
Well, as a matter of fact...
Oh, I'd be so honored.
I couldn't.
Oh, please. It would make me very happy. And it's the least a civilian could do.
Well, in that case, I'm at your service, ma'am. You know, Lily, there are two things about you that I find very hard to believe.
Major.
One is that you cooked that most excellent dinner all by yourself.
Well, I did.
And the other is that you're really not married or engaged.
Oh, Bill.
I look at you and I...
What's the matter?
I think I better go.
Why?
Because I can't do this anymore. Lily, forgive me for what I'm going to say.
Bill, I don't understand.
Can you understand the feeling of, lost time that war gives a man? Can you forgive it? Can you forgive me for saying, Lily, that I love you?
Bill.
I know we've only just met, but I want to run out and buy you flowers, buy you champagne, buy you... Lily, I want to buy you a ring, an engagement ring.
An engagement?
You don't have to say yes this minute. You don't have to answer at all. I know it's sudden for you, but I want to...
What, Bill?
Funny. Here I am talking of buying a ring and thinking of running out and getting one first thing in the morning and have exactly $47 in my wallet.
But, Bill, that's...
No, it's not enough, my dearest. Not for a ring for you.
Oh, now, Bill, listen.
No. Let me think. My bank's in Philadelphia. Do you suppose they'd honor a check here in New York?
Bill, I refuse to let you...
Lily, what's money for but something like this, something with someone like you? Well, now, my Army credentials... Oh, darn it, they're secret. Lily, if you endorse the check, not for much, say $50... Oh, no, I couldn't ask you.
Well, why not?
Why couldn't, that's all? You...
Well, we're going to be engaged.
Oh, Lily.
So, what I have is yours.
And what I have is yours. Oh, Lily, I really do love you.
The world is filled with people looking for love. And people in love forget to ask questions. They don't care. Lily Tompkins didn't ask, didn't care, didn't know. Didn't know that when Major William Roscoe left her house that night with a check for $50 in his pocket, he walked quickly to the nearest subway station. Not because he was in a hurry to catch that train, but because he had an appointment. An appointment he had made that very afternoon.
Miss Bergen!
Major! Oh, Major, I hope I haven't kept you waiting long.
I've been waiting all evening.
Oh.
That sounds like a pretty speech, but it's true.
Did Lily say anything?
Oh, no. I knew she didn't hear us on the boardwalk, and if she had, I wouldn't have cared. I really never should have done this.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. No. You don't understand. I mean... Abby, forgive me for what I'm going to say.
I don't understand.
Well, can you understand the feeling of... lost time that war gives a man? Can you forgive it? Can you forgive me for standing here on a lonely subway platform and saying, Abby, I love you?
The confidence game requires only two players. A gullible, rather lonely woman, for example, and a man with a great deal of charm and absolutely no scruples. It's an old game, but it becomes a particularly nasty one when a new twist is added. A twist of taking advantage of a war. Still, it's a game, and like all games, it can't last. Particularly when checks are involved. Sooner or later, those checks turn up at the FBI.
Are these the checks, Robbie?
Yes.
Both for $50 and both returns marked no account. Didn't those women ask the Major for any credentials?
They felt the uniform was enough. And the Army never even heard of William Evans Roscoe.
Probably an alias.
Yeah. Well, it's a low trick, all right, to use the uniform of a
Well, he won't be wearing it long.
The laboratory reported on his handwriting yet?
We're waiting for a teletype from Washington now.
$50 from 2 school teachers. 2 checks.
And one within 10 hours of the other, which makes me think he's an old hand. I'm looking forward to that report from Washington on Major Roscoe.
When a handwriting specimen sent to the FBI laboratory in Washington is identified, the work does not stop there. In a sense, it just begins, because agents immediately begin investigating the man concerned. In this case, while the FBI was checking, the criminal who called himself Major Roscoe decided to leave the city and go to a mountain resort. It would be cooler in the mountains. It would be relaxing. And besides, there would be lots of women. Lots of unattached, lonely women.
My plane caught fire. Naturally, there was nothing for me to do but bail out.
And that was when the Japanese fired at you.
Yes. Of course, I got the Purple Heart, but...
But what, Major?
Well, I'd rather not talk about it, Miss Hudson.
Of course. Oh, I wish I were a man.
Why?
Well, I could have the kind of life you have now.
Personally, I prefer the life I led before I fulfilled my obligation to my country and joined up.
What did you do before the Army, Major?
Exactly what I wanted to do at the moment.
Oh.
If I felt the urge to go to China, the South Seas, I'd take, $25,000, $30,000 out of the bank and go.
It always takes money to do things like that. I could probably go as far as Chicago, I guess.
Oh, now. You must have more than $100 in the bank.
Well, I do, but...
How much?
Just a little. Barely 7,000.
Well, where's your spirit of adventure? Take that and just pick up and go.
Oh, yes, I've always wanted to. I've always felt that I don't know why I talk like this to you.
I do. You do it because you know that I understand.
Yes, I think you do.
Martha, can you forgive me for what I'm about to say to you?
Say to me?
From the first moment I saw you, I knew
don't.
that...
Please, Major, don't say that.
Oh, Martha.
No, please. Don't you see how much it would mean to a woman like me? Don't you see how seriously I would take it?
Martha, I know. And I know how I feel.
You mean...
Yes, Martha.
You want to marry me?
Yes, Martha, I do.
Oh, William.
Well, what's the matter, my dear?
I just never thought I'd be happy. And I am. I am now for the first time in my life.
2 days later, another check marked no account turned up at FBI headquarters in New York. Another check signed by Major William Evans Roscoe. A check that Major Roscoe had cashed at a resort in the mountains. Now the trail, the path, the road that led to Major Roscoe was getting shorter. Much shorter. For the agents went at once to the resort to see the manager and then the major.
Well, really, gentlemen, if you can't accept a check from a major in the United States Army and a major who's been decorated and wounded, Lord knows what else...
Did you ask to see his credentials?
Well, no, but after all, his uniform is enough.
Unfortunately, the uniform is not enough of a credential. Not with people like Major Roscoe around.
And by the way, has the major been very friendly with any particular woman?
Yes, with Miss Hudson. Very nice lady.
Miss Hudson, huh?
Miss Martha Hudson.
We'd better see her right away, Leo.
Oh, you can't. She's gone, too.
Too?
Oh, yes. They both checked out yesterday, and he paid for both.
By check?
Yes. By check.
You have Miss Hudson's home address?
Yes, I'll get it for you. Check.
A day too late.
Yes. Laboratory report on his handwriting certainly indicted him.
The major has quite a record. He's been operating for almost 5 years under about 20 different names.
I think we'll catch him this time.
That isn't what worries me.
What then?
I was thinking of a Miss Martha Hudson, of the report from Washington that the major's been married twice. And both wives died almost immediately after the wedding.
We momentarily close the Federal Bureau of Investigation file on the fraudulent major. We will return to this case in just a moment. Since the dawn of history, men have been fighting to win security. First, security against marauding enemies. And then security against the despotic power of kings and nobles. Freedom of speech and religion, trial by jury, protection against arbitrary arrest and imprisonment. These are some of the great securities which our ancestors bought for us with their blood and their lives. In the last century, men set out to win still another security for themselves. It was freedom from money worries, protection against the financial uncertainties of the future. And to this end, in the year 1859, a group of Americans founded the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States. Their idea was that by joining forces, by combining their dollars into a common protective fund, maximum security for each individual member would be achieved. Self-help and self-reliance. Voluntary cooperation by men willing to work together in ways that benefit the entire community. That's the American way. That's the equitable way. By serving its members, the Equitable serves America. And now, back to the file on William Roscoe, Confidence Man.
A man signs an assumed name to a check and defrauds a woman of $15. He's done it before many times. He's never been caught, and he sees no reason why he should be now. But the FBI has his record. They know his method of operation. And now, on a train returning to New York, they are finally on his trail.
The description we got at the hotel fits the one of the report, all right. 5'11", 174 pounds, scars on his forehead.
The manager said the major claimed he got those scars in the Pacific, fighting Japs.
Well, it shouldn't take long to get to the Hudson woman's house from the station. She lives with her brother and sister-in-law.
What? Oh, yes.
What are you thinking about?
Same thing you are?
What that chambermaid told us?
Yes.
Well, just because the major carries a gun, it doesn't mean...
I know.
I wish this train would move a little faster.
So do I.
That train was due in New York at 3:45 p.m., but it was 10 minutes late. And at 3:50 p.m., Major Roscoe was waiting in the railroad station, waiting to board a train. Waiting to board a train with his bride-to-be, Martha Hudson.
You sure you got everything, Martha?
Of course, Edna. Now, don't worry so.
I just wish I could be with you in Boston for the wedding.
I wish you could be with your sister, too, Mrs. Hudson, but Army orders, you know. There's nothing I can do.
Of course not. Stop getting so upset, Edna.
Well, I can't help it if I care more about your own sister than you. Oh, Martha.
Edna, now don't cry.
I'm just so happy for you.
There, my dear. Don't you think Martha's safe in my hands?
Oh, yes, that's just it. It's all so wonderful.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Let me have your handkerchief, Harry.
Martha, my dad, I think we better...
Yes, William. Harry.
Sis, well, all the luck in the world to you.
Thanks. I think I've got it now. Goodbye, Edna.
Goodbye, honey. Goodbye, Major. Take care of her.
I'll do my best. Harry, old man.
Goodbye, sir.
Thanks for everything. I can't tell you how... Oh, the tickets.
Holy mackerel. Here they are.
Thanks for picking them up.
Oh, forget it.
You got my check.
Sure.
Well, goodbye, then.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Well, you did enough weeping for a dozen weddings.
I know, but I'm so happy for her, Harry.
Yes, so am I.
She always pretended that she didn't care about not being married, but...
Sure.
And you know, when it's your own sister, you feel kind of lousy, honey.
Well, it's all right now, Harry. The Major's a wonderful man.
He sure is.
That was a beautiful ring he gave her. Must have cost a fortune.
It did. $500.
How do you know?
His bank's in Philadelphia, so I endorsed the check for him.
Oh. Hey, Harry, who's that man waiting on our front steps?
I don't know.
Gee, I hope...
What?
Nothing.
Pardon me.
Yes?
I'm looking for a Miss Martha Hudson.
I'm afraid you'll have to go to Boston to find her, mister.
Boston?
Yes, she just left to be married there.
To a Major Roscoe?
Yeah. Say, who are you, anyway?
Special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Gee, Martha hasn't done anything, has she?
No. The person we're looking for is the man who calls himself Major Roscoe.
I knew it, Edna. I knew it was too good to be true.
There is not a section of this country that is not covered by the FBI. Before a train carrying Major Roscoe and Martha Hudson could have arrived in Boston, special agents in that city were notified by teletype to be on the watch. When the train arrived, they were at the station. There was no sign of the Major or Martha Hudson. The agents checked all the hotels, the rooming houses, the churches, but there was no trace of the missing couple. A report was teletyped back to New York, and the special agents there immediately paid another call on Martha Hudson's brother and sister-in-law.
Mr. Hudson, are you certain that your sister and the Major left for Boston?
I can't be certain of anything anymore.
Harry.
I'm sorry, honey.
We know this has been a pretty bad shock, Mr. Hudson, but we're trying to find your sister. Did you put them on the Boston train?
No, we said goodbye to them in the station.
Maybe they got off before Boston.
We're checking on that. But there's also the possibility they never started for Boston.
I picked up the tickets myself.
Did you see them?
No. I just picked up the envelope, paid for it, and never looked inside.
You say you paid for the tickets?
Yes.
Do you remember how much they cost?
Sure. The Major gave me his personal check for them. Here.
Thank you. This check's for $20.38.
That's the price.
Yes, but that's not the price of 2 tickets to Boston. That's the price of 2 tickets to Washington.
William, why did you tell Harry and Edna we were going to Boston instead of Washington?
Oh, just the incurable romanticist in me, I guess. This way we seem like 2 carefree youngsters running off to this hotel secretly.
Oh, William, we're going to have such a wonderful life.
Oh, dear.
What's the trouble?
In all the confusion of getting away, I didn't have time to get to the bank. I stripped myself of cash.
That's all right. I have some.
It's a fine way to begin our life together.
What do you mean?
Borrowing from you.
Oh, it's not borrowing. Whatever I have is yours anyway.
I wish you didn't have a single penny.
Why?
I suppose it's because at heart I'm old-fashioned, my dear. But I wish you were completely dependent on me. I wish you had to come to me for every penny.
William, may I have your pen?
Well, what are you going to do?
The pen, please.
Here.
Thank you. I'm going to make myself completely dependent on you because I'm old-fashioned, too.
But what's that check for?
All I have.
Oh, my dear. I knew from the very beginning that you were the woman I always...
Who's that?
It's a bellboy, I guess. I ordered some champagne for us.
Oh, William.
Yes?
Major Roscoe?
At your service, gentlemen.
Would you step out into the hall for a moment?
Who are you?
Special agents of the FBI.
William?
Just some military matters, my dear. Nothing to be alarmed about. I'll be back in a moment. Now then, gentlemen.
I think you know what we're here for.
My dear man, I really haven't the slightest idea.
You mind if we search you?
For weapons?
Yes.
Well, the only weapon I carry is right here in my pocket. My checkbook.
What we'd like to talk with you about concerns checks and impersonation.
Oh?
We have quite a few of your checks. One endorsed by a Miss Lily Tompkins, another by a...
No, you don't. My checkbook.
I know. I'll take that checkbook, Major.
What is it, 38 automatic?
Yes.
Handy little gun you had there, Major.
Not quite handy enough, it seems. But you know, gentlemen, I should have known from personal experience that as a weapon, the checkbook is much better than a gun. Shall we go?
Very often, people will believe things because they want very badly to believe them. But too often, other people, criminals, confidence men will take advantage of this desire, even to the extent of impersonating an officer of the United States Army. Every representative of this country, every government employee carries credentials that you should examine carefully. This is a duty you owe not only to yourself, but to your country, and to the protectors of our internal security, the FBI. These criminals can be among the most difficult to catch, but with the full cooperation of the decent citizens of our nation, they can be the easiest.
You will hear about the file on next week's case in just a minute. Yesterday, somewhere on the island of Okinawa, a young American infantryman stepped on a landmine. It blew up in his face. Today, both of that boy's legs are going to be amputated. Compared with his sacrifice, anything that any of us does here at home seems trifling. Nevertheless, while we can't do as much as the men and women at the front, we can do our best. And that best is vitally important to victory. So it'll be a source of satisfaction to Equitable members to learn that 44% of this society's assets are now invested in war bonds and government securities. Recently, Thomas I. Parkinson, president of the Equitable, pointed out what this means. He said, quote, "For every one of its 3,200,000 members, the Equitable now owns government bonds amounting to $490. For each member, an additional $220 is invested in industries and utilities which manufacture weapons of war, plus $115 per member invested in railroads engaged in war transportation. That's another reason why we say that in wartime, Equitable dollars are fighting dollars, and at all times, they are security dollars. For you, your home, and your country." Next week, a crime against our fighting men, war fraud. The incidents used in tonight's broadcast are taken from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. However, all names used are fictitious. Any similarity thereof to the names of persons living or dead is accidental. In tonight's cast, William Roscoe was played by Arnold Moss and Martha by Charlotte Holland. The music was composed and directed by Van Cleve. The author was Lawrence MacArthur, and your narrator was Frank Lovejoy. This is Your FBI is a Jerry Devine production. Now, this is Carl Frank speaking for the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States and inviting you to tune in again next week at this same time for This is Your FBI.
This is the Blue Network of the American Broadcasting Company.
80 years ago, May 4th, 1945, This is Your FBI, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage, won't you? That's at classicradio.stream. Coming up next, the CBS Radio Workshop, and it's another war.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Ladies and gentlemen, make tomorrow your D-Day. Get an extra bond for defense. Step into any bank or post office and buy yourself a profitable share in America's future. As an investment, bonds are better than ever. They can help you save safely, conveniently, and profitably. So whether you already buy on the payroll savings plan where you work or the bond-a-month plan where you bank, get an extra bond for defense tomorrow.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go back 69 years, May 4th, 1956, an episode of the CBS Radio Workshop, and a story of a civil war in the U.S. you might never have heard of, the Toledo War.
A man is now alive who saw the dreadful Dido. But back in 1835, in history you may read, Ohio fought with Michigan. They fought as hard as two states can to prove which was the better man, and prove just how their border ran, and where the rights of each began, and which would have Toledo.
The CBS Radio Workshop, dedicated to man's imagination, the theater of the mind. Tonight, the Toledo War, a new opera performed for the first time, with words by Edward Eager and music composed and conducted by David Brookman. It was in 1835, when Michigan was still a territory, that the young governor, Stevens Thompson Mason, claimed that a strip of land, including the town of Toledo, rightfully belonged to Michigan. But some people in Ohio thought differently, and so it was war, the first war between the states. Exactly what happened isn't too clear, but it might have been something like this.
Just how the storm and strife occurred, we're here to show you, and you will have to take our word that all we say is true. Hard by Lake Erie's fearful foam, the shot began to fly. Oh, we take you to the happy home of Federal Judge Phineas Fustian and his wife Hermelia Fustian and his daughter Annabelle Fustian of Toledo, Ohio. But stirring news of war assails our ear, according to the latest thing we hear. The men of Michigan have made complaints. Our town is in their state. We say it ain't. So now with savage skill and aim adroit, they're planning to invade us from Detroit. To Stinkney, are you ready to go forth and guard us from these vandals of the north, and battle to the joy of all bystanders to keep our city safe from Michiganders? Then homing, lay my daughter as your bride. Have you your forces ready?
Well, I've tried. My brothers were the only ones who came. But but we will guard you safely all the same. They're waiting just outside the door. My brother 1, my brother 3, my brother 4.
Good evening, 1.
I'm 3.
Oh, I see.
My father was a military man, and he named us by a military plan. And he formed us in a group, and he trained us in a troop to be as military as we can. We're the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sing me, brothers. We've been looking all our lives for an enemy.
Any enemy.
Any enemy. Anyone with whom we don't agree. Don't agree. Don't agree. And should any sneak and spy come here to peep and pry, we'll hit him in the eye and sit around and watch him die, just to show Ohio that Ohio can rely. On the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Say for Ohio, if only before
Cousin Isabel. How sad, cousin, that you missed Two's triumphant departure. It was truly inspiring. Do you love him, cousin? I do more. I honor him as champion of our state, and surely when he is victorious, the governor will grant him a handsome commission, and I shall be an officer's bride. Oh, few men are as plain as two, and much more brawn than brain as two. By some he might be called fat too. His hair is growing bald, that's too. But when the battle's din is through, then wealth and fame he'll win will too. And when I am his wife, I'll lead a rich full life. We two, my two and me too.
Put out the light.
I'll bring the night. Good night. Now I am alone, my secret I'll relate. I love a man from an enemy state. I try to forget him, but how can I forget the kiss he gave me the day we met, and the words he said that I dream of yet? By the shore of the muddy Marie, under the shade of a shad blue tree, on April the 10th at 2:45, I stood in the arms of somebody, and he promised his love would be strong as the earth and deep as the sea and fair as the bloom on the shadblow tree, and last as long as the money, money. Husband's snoring drone, I heard a melody. Who could it be? Who could it be? And where I lay in bed alone, I heard a melody. Who could it be? Not too distinctly. And in a voice that I've well known, a charming lyric baritone, I heard a melody, and it is he. It's my beloved enemy. It cannot be he sings for me. My time for serenades is done, and yet how bittersweet would be if I could still reprise just one. Cannot be he sings to me. My troth is plighted to my two, and yet how pleasant it might be if I could flirt with this one too. I know it's he sings to me. With quaking heart I wonder why he has appeared so stealthily. Oh, can it be that he's a spy? What shall we do? I can't be sly to run and hide or open wide. It's cold outside. Then I think we're justified to be a faithful wife. I've tried. I'll try to when I'm a bride. And up to now I've never spied. But when it is so cold outside, but when it is so cold outside, but when it is so cold outside, I think we're justified.
Good evening.
A stranger. Do we know you, sir?
Alas, no.
But...
Hush, not a word. Forgive me. I lost my way, and having my mandolin with me, improvised a serenade to warm my fingers. They're warmer now.
Oh, sir, oh, sir.
And now that I meet with such charm and beauty too, I can only repeat every word I sang was true.
Well, really?
Hush, be careful.
Sir, I'm a married lady. I am an engaged young lady. And the Stickney brothers, if you are recognized, you will be killed and will be compromised.
Where can I hide?
Under there.
Where?
There, get inside. Quick, move the chair. I see his hair. There.
We seen a man from Michigan, but then he ran. You seen a man
as quiet as a mouse, we saw him creeping. We'd better search the house.
No, my uncle's sleeping. Oh, did you know he was from Michigan? Did he wear a uniform?
No, that's so. He didn't wear a uniform.
It would be just like them dirty Michiganders not to wear a uniform.
It would, that's good. Them dirty brutes wear business suits.
Oh, dear, too, how can you think that I would hide a spy?
No. Oh.
It is safe now. You may emerge.
How can I thank you?
It was nothing. And now you must be weary from your exertion. Girls, some refreshment for the gentlemen. The cold roast lamb, a slice of ham, and cider cool, and gooseberry full, and cream. Wait! When the state you love is at war, and a stranger comes to your door, how can you feed him your gooseberry fool and cream? Suppose he is a spy, come here to lurk and scheme.
Hush! What are you saying?
Well, suppose he is a spy, what then? War is the concern of men. And when the stranger has such manly grace, such a lofty mind, such a noble face, supposing it were so, I'd rather never know and think of him as though he were a lovely dream. Well, I can only say I consider your behavior hypocritical in the extreme.
What is that voice of thunder?
My husband, my father.
Should I surrender?
No, get back under.
What does this mean? The hour is late, yet all the house is aglow.
We weren't sleepy.
Gooseberry fool on the parlor table. Suppose the neighbors should know.
We were hungry.
You must curb this tendency to madcap frolic. Often I told you so.
Yes, I know. Yes, we know.
Law and order. Status quo.
I know.
Put out the light.
I'll bring the light. Come out now. It's all right. I'd like to stay and talk if things could be as they might, but since they aren't quite, I'd better say good night.
Good night.
Bon appetite. I'll bring the light. Well, really, such hypocrisy. They pretend to be for Ohio, then all for the sake of a handsome face they entertain a spy. Oh!
What about you, my dear?
I'm not your dear. I look on you with loathing, you sneaking Wolverine in buck-eye clothing. I knew you were a spy, but I thought you'd spy with candor, not stoop to lie and flirt and philander.
But a spy must lie.
I don't see why.
Nathan Hale and I could tell you that a spy must learn to lie and lie if he'd be a good spy.
Well, of course, that's different. If it's true what you say, I'm learning something new every day. My uncle convinced me to fight for my state, but now my state is Michigan, the state of my mate. So now I'm a spy, and I think if I try, I can learn to lie and be a good spy. But how did you come here, and what is the occasion?
I came from Detroit with a party of invasion. We planned to make for the courthouse with our speedo, to draw up a deed or to claim Toledo. But the night it was dark and the way it was tricky. I got lost in the swamp, and the swamp it was sticky, and I couldn't find the courthouse for my knowledge it was scanty. So I finally came to this house of your auntie.
But this is the courthouse, my uncle holds court session, right here in the parlor every Friday.
Then 9 points of the law I've won, for I am in possession without having hardly tried it.
There's paper in the desk, and quills and ink.
Toledo will be Michigan as quick as a wink. Now to draw up the deeds and writs.
Order in the court sits.
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
We've won.
We've won.
We've won.
We've won.
Strange as it may seem, we've worked out a scheme, so now let's have some gooseberry fool and cream. Delicious.
Sweetheart.
Darling, you eat part.
Thank you.
My dear. I seen him. He's in there. Up with your hands and stand where you are. Bring thongs of leather and feathers and tar. Ride him on a rail and in the jailhouse land him. Away, unhand me.
Away, unhand him.
On Gallows Hill we'll hang you high. Why?
Don't ask why, for you know the reason. You're a spy, and you're guilty of treason.
I'm a spy.
So am I.
But my ethics don't forbid it.
For his ideals are high.
It is for my state I did it.
Me oh my, boy is clever, so alarming.
He's a spy,
but he's so young and charming.
What's amiss, what's awry, what's the noise and what's the riot?
He's a spy.
Take him out and hang him high. Will you shoot him or shall I?
He's a spy, he's a
Quiet! You have no right to seize me, for from this date, Toledo is no longer even in your state. Read this paper. Heaven forbid. Niece, you signed this?
Yes, I did.
You are guilty of fraud, impersonating an officer, and contempt.
Not at all, I am exempt. You told me states' rights are the highest rights.
Sustained.
And that's when I decided to join the fight.
Sustained.
But I am a citizen of the state of Michigan. I am secretly married to this gentleman.
Isabel, I am paid.
But you don't know him. Oh, can this be? I do too. We met last April at a Sunday school picnic in Maumee. I love him, I adore him, I really adore him.
You now told a cordon to wed this cockalorum. But though we deplore him, we still can't ignore him. For two may be company, but it isn't a quorum.
It isn't a quorum, it isn't a quorum.
It isn't a quorum. We're still in Ohio, it's all hunky-dorum. I said open forum, we did have a quorum. Toledo's in Michigan.
Toledo's in Ohio, Toledo's in Ohio.
We'll make you wish and wish again you'd never been a spy-o.
We'll hang you up high-o and leave you to dry-o.
Stop there or you die-o. Come quick, let us fly-o.
Adieu, goodbye-o, we'll go get our army and battle with Ohio. Goodbye-o, goodbye.
We'd like to see you try-o, just try-o, just try.
Goodbye-o, goodbye, goodbye-o, goodbye.
No.
Who knocks?
Who knocks? At such an hour unorthodox, when 10 is striking on the clocks. Who knocks? Who knocks? Unlock the locks. Let's see who knocks.
Special message from President Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson?
In the interest of national unity, the President decrees that this community, up to now in a state of ambiguity, shall be in Ohio for perpetuity. Oh, joy!
Toledo is in Ohio.
So now you know. Sadly, I bow to the President's order. I linger no longer south of the border. Come home with me, Isabel, and find safe harbor, and live happy ever after in Ann Arbor. No, I object.
Objection overruled.
Don't we get to shoot nobody?
No,
The battle had a happy end the same night it began. And each man was each other's friend by President Jackson's plan. So let's be glad it turned out right, as battles seldom can. And let's be happy that tonight, though years and years have passed in flight, Toledo still is shining bright. Wheels are turning left and right. And champions Sparkplug and Willis Knight, and Mather Spring and Autolite are in Ohio. But they might have been in Michigan.
Tonight, the CBS Radio Workshop has presented The Toledo War, a parlor piece for music, with words by Edward Eager and music composed and conducted by David Brookman. The cast included Arthur Newman as Judge Phineas Fustian, Jean Hanslick as his wife, Lois Winter as Annabelle, Shirley Emmons as Isabel, Peyton Higginson as the hero, and Mike Pollock as Stinkney II. Others included John Wilson, Jack Brown, and Bill Marine. The CBS Radio Workshop is produced in New York by Paul Roberts. This is Bob Hite inviting you to join us again next week when we present When He Shall Appear. This is the CBS Radio Network.
You never knew what you were going to hear on the CBS Radio Workshop, but the Toledo War was something you probably never thought you'd even hear about or know about, much less hear it put to music. 69 years ago, May 4th, 1956, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, we'll head to Pine Ridge, Arkansas.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Keep your guard up. That's the key slogan of the 1950 National Guard recruiting drive, and it's a slogan as timely as today's headlines. More than ever before, America stands prepared, and the National Guard must recruit approximately 220,000 men as soon as possible. By joining the National Guard, young men will have the advantage of choosing their own unit and preparing themselves for promotion by being in a job for which they are best qualified. Investigate the National Guard now. Help America to keep up its guard.
Now we roll on to wrap up this program with an episode of Lum and Abner going back 83 years to May 4th, 1942, and the latest on the Wonderful World Apartments, and they may not happen.
The makers of Alka-Seltzer bring you Lum and Abner. Tell me, friends, do you have one of those days every now and then when everything seems to go wrong? Mistakes keep cropping up in your work. Junior's an especially bad boy. Housework piles up, the roast burns, and your supper's a complete failure. Well, when days like this come along, it's no wonder by the time supper dishes are done, you feel sort of done in too. Your head aches and a touch of acid indigestion's adding to your misery. Well, this is just one of the many times, folks. You'll be glad you have a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets in your home. You'll really welcome the fast relief that Alka-Seltzer offers for the headache, the sour upset stomach, and the nervous indigestion that so often follow a busy, hectic day. Try it, won't you? The next time, drink a glass of sparkling, refreshing Alka-Seltzer and just see how much better it can make you feel. Now, if you haven't a package of these modern effervescent tablets in your home at the time, get one quickly at any drugstore. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, Squire Skimp's friend, contractor Gregory W. Dobbs, made a quick visit to Pine Ridge the other day, approved Mousy's plans for the Wonderful World Apartments, and secured a check from Lum and Abner for $1,200 to purchase lumber. However, in the excitement, Abner made a mistake and signed a blotter instead of the check. As we look in on the little community today, we find the old fellows in their jot-em-down store and library. Lum is pretty much disgusted over the inconvenience Abner has caused by failing to sign the check properly. Listen.
Well, Mr. Dobbs has surely cashed a check, Lum, or we would have heard from him by this time.
Granny's, I hope so. What I'm feared of, though, is he buys some lumber with that check, and when the lumber company takes the check to the bank will turn it down because your name ain't on it.
They will, huh?
Well, sure. That money was put in a joint account for me and you both got to sign the checks before they'll cash them.
Well, I'm sorry I signed that blotter instead of the check, but it's just so smoky in here I couldn't see nothing, Lum.
Granny, if Mr. Dobbs is embarrassed by having that check come back, he might not want to have anything to do with helping us build our wonderful world apartments.
Well, don't Squire know where to locate him? Tell him to bring the check back. I'll sign it.
The trouble is, I can't locate Squire.
Oh?
His woman says he left with Mr. Dobbs and ain't been back since.
Ain't, huh?
They're more than likely someplace working on the plans.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I just hope I ain't spoiled everything first. Hey, doggies, wait a minute. Who's that coming in yonder?
Huh?
Look there. I never have saw him before, have you?
No, I ain't. Must be a stranger in town.
Yeah.
More than likely a drummer.
Just about.
I don't want to buy nothing, I know that.
No.
Curious looking sort of a feller.
Yeah, look at them horn-rimmed spectacles. Dog, it ought to get me a pair of them, you know it.
What's that he's carrying there? Oh, reckons it's samples of some kind, or a briefcase, something like that.
Yeah, he's a drummer, that's what he is, ain't no doubts about it. Now, reckon what he's got in there that he wants to sell.
I don't know. We'll soon find out. Find out.
Huh?
Well, how do you do, sir? What can we do for you?
How do you do? My name is Tiffin, J. Wadsworth Tiffin, and I'm trying to locate a Mr. Lem Edwards.
Lem Edwards?
Yes, sir. I was informed that he was one of the owners of this store.
Oh, I reckon that must be me. You got the name wrong, though. It's Lum Edwards.
Lum? Why, that's an odd name.
It's short for Columbus.
Abner, here, sir.
Well, Mr. Edgars, I would like very much to shake your hand. You are positively and without a doubt a genius. That's what you are, a genius among modern building engineers.
A genius? Well, oh, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, Mr. Tiffin. Hardly. Not quite that far, anyway.
Mr. Tiffin, you weren't sent over here by Squire Skimp, was you?
Squire Skimp? Why, who's he?
See there, you don't even know him, Abner. Go on, Mr. Tiffin. What was you saying?
Well, you see, it's this way, Mr. Irwin.
Edwards.
Yes. Pardon me, Edwards. I never can remember a name, but I always forget a face. You see, I heard about your amazing apartment building plan a short time ago, and
Well, how'd you hear about it, Mr. Tiffin?
Well, that's a very complicated story. You see, Fred Butler runs a service station in Dubuque. That's where I live, Dubuque. And Fred heard it from his cousin, Orville Butler. You know, Orville Butler married one of the Salisbury girls. She was the oldest one, I believe. Or no. I think she was the youngest. No, well, anyway, she heard it from her uncle, who married a second cousin of a Pine Ridge girl, Mrs. Bleven. I think that was the name.
Oh, it must be Mrs. Blevin.
Oh, yeah, that's just about who it is, Miss Blevin. Yeah, she does have a relay up there in Iowa somewhere. Dubuque, I believe the name she called it. Yeah, I've heard Miss Blevins mention it. Writes her letters all the time.
Oh, well, who did you hear it from, Mr. Tiffin? Fred Butler?
Well, no, I forget where I did hear it now, but no matter. The point is that I am here to make you a very attractive offer.
Make me an offer?
Yes, indeed. I don't know whether you realize it or not, Mr. Elwood, but you have hit upon an idea that might solve all the housing problems of this country, and we want to buy that idea.
Who's we?
Yeah.
Well, I am the Iowa representative of the Orkney Building Corporation of Chicago.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. I've been with the company for years. But the point is, we would like to secure your secret method for prefabrication.
Prefabrication?
Well, whatever it is that enables you to build 25 or 30 apartment houses on an investment of only $10,000. You see, with your secret, my company can secure contracts for more government housing projects than we can possibly handle. And that's why I'm here with this certified check for $50,000.
$50,000?
Oh, now, be reasonable, Mr. Egbert. After all, that's all the higher we can go. You must realize that your formula is still in its experimental stage.
Well, never meant it weren't enough. I just never realized the idea was worth that much money.
Well, we're probably being a little too generous, but then the Orkney Corporation has always had a reputation for fair play. Well, is it a deal, Mr. Elbert?
Edwards.
I mean, Edwards, is it a deal?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it is, but I'll have to get in touch with Mousy first.
Mousy?
Yeah, Mousy Gray.
he's sort of in on this idea, too.
Yeah, facts is, he was the one that studied it up.
Well, he did study some of it up.
Oh, yeah.
Under my direction, of course. Abner, call over to Dick Huddleston's store. I seen Mousy go in there just a little bit ago. See if you can get him over here.
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll see if he's still there. Yeah.
Well, will it take very long to get a hold of this Mousy person?
Oh, no, it's just across the street there. Just take him a second to get over here if he's still there.
Fine.
Hello? Is that you, Dick? Huh? Oh, well, Mousy, what are you doing answering the phone over there? Never knowed your voice. You there? Well, when did you start?
Hurry up, Abner. Tell him to come over here right away.
Uh-huh. Well, oh, good for you. I don't think he can, Lum. He just started working over there.
Working over there?
Yeah, he's working over at Dick's store.
Well, tell him to come on over here anyway.
Yeah. Say, Mousy, can you get over to the store here for a few minutes? Can't leave, huh?
Tell him he's got to leave. Tell him we got the greatest news for him he's ever heard.
Yeah, just a minute, Mousy. Tell him what, Lum?
Tell him we got the greatest news for him he ever heard.
Yeah, well, Mousy, you got to come on over here. We got the greatest news for you ever heard.
That'll get him.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, Lum, he says he can't leave on account of he's working there.
Tell him to quit his job, then.
Well, quit your job, Mousy, and get on over here.
Tell him what I got to tell him is worth 100 jobs like that.
Yeah, Mousy, Lum's got something to tell you it's worth 100 jobs like that, and you got, he said. He will.
$1,000.
Well, good for you. Yeah, right away, yeah. Well, hurry up now. Get on over here. All right, Mousy. Yeah, huh? Yeah, well, just come on over, lock the door up. We'll explain it to Dick. Yeah, all right. Goodbye. He's going to quit his job. Just lock the store up and come over here, he said.
Very good. He'll be over here in just a minute, Mr. Tiffin. And then we'll close the deal.
Fine. Tell me, how did you happen to hit upon this amazing construction secret, Mr. Everett?
Eddard.
What special materials do you use?
Oh, no special ones. It don't matter what materials we make the buildings out of.
Oh, it doesn't? Well, then, how in the world do you arrive at such a low construction cost?
Oh, well, that's easy to explain. See, here's how it works. See, we take the $10,000 that Diogenes left us.
Diogenes? Who, may I ask, is Diogenes?
Oh, he's a feller that, well, he left town a short while ago, but before he did, he gave Pine Ridge $10,000 to be spent in some way that would do the most good for the whole community.
Yeah, he turned out to be a good man, Diogenes did.
Oh, well, I don't understand any of this, but go on with the construction formula.
Well, we take the money and build one apartment house.
One? I thought you could build 30.
Well, you can. I'm coming to that. See, 20 families move into this first apartment house.
Yes.
Holds 20. And they can live in it free for the rest of their lives. All they got to do is turn in their old houses to us.
Go on.
And then we take these houses and sell them for just $1,000 apiece. That gives us twice what we started with, or $20,000. So then we can build 2 apartment houses with that. You following me?
Yes. Go on.
And then 40 families move into these 2 new apartments and turn in their old houses. And so on. See, we keep getting in twice as much money from selling the old houses and building twice as many new apartments till we got enough for the whole community.
Wait, this is amazing.
And on top of that, according to the figures we got figured out, we end up with a profit of $320,000. Now, what do you think of that, Mr. Tiffin?
Well, Mr. Edmund, I have never heard such a logical-sounding crackpot idea in all my life.
Crackpot?
Why, certainly it's crackpot. Why, don't you see, if all the people are moving into the apartments, who are you going to sell all the old houses to?
Why are we selling them to... Huh?
Doggy, that's right, Lum. There won't be nobody left to buy 'em.
Oh, my. Well, good day, Mr. Almond. I'm very sorry I wasted so much of your valuable time. Oh, my goodness, I've been with the company for years, and I had to fall to a thing like this.
I'll be John Brown. Grannies, I ought to be bored for the simples. Why didn't I think of that?
Well, are we going ahead and build apartment buildings or not, Lum?
Of course we ain't. The idea won't work. You heard him.
Yeah. What about that check we give Mr. Dawes?
Oh, my goodness, I forgot about that.
$1,200 check.
Yeah, what if he's went ahead and bought $1,200 worth of lumber, and now we ain't going to build the apartments? Oh, my goodness.
Wait a minute. There comes Mousy.
Granny, we got to find that feller Dobbs and do it quick.
Well, howdy, Mousy. Come in.
Well, hello, Abner. Lum. What's the good news?
Good news.
Yes, sir. What was it you wanted to tell me, Lum?
Oh, Mousy?
Yes, sir.
I called you over here to tell you.
Yes, sir.
You're a crackpot.
Well, wasn't that a surprise? And say, speaking of surprises, have you ever experienced the surprising, prompt, pleasant relief that Alka-Seltzer offers for acid indigestion, sour, upset stomach, or occasional distress after meals? If you haven't, you're really missing something, for the fast relief that Alka-Seltzer offers for these minor stomach upsets is a welcome surprise for you, too. You see, Alka-Seltzer does more than just reduce excess gastric acidity. It also helps relieve that full, stuffy, uncomfortable feeling that's so often a big part of your discomfort. Yes, you're in for a really pleasant surprise the very first time you take Alka-Seltzer for real relief in minor stomach upsets. So try it and see for yourself why thousands of folks take Alka-Seltzer for fast relief in these annoying ailments. Remember, you can get Alka-Seltzer at all drugstores, either by the package or by the glass at the soda fountain.
Well, it was a good try. 83 years ago, May 4th, 1942, Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage at classicradio.stream. Thanks for joining us here on Classic Radio Theater. We'll be back tomorrow with some comedies. I'm Wyatt Cox.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.